I yield to the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Quigley, Congressman Quigley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Paulson, I guess I want to put this in context of what didn't happen with Lehman. And I believe the expression you used was moral hazard, which is the notion of bailing out institutions, inviting more risk-taking. Is that a concept, is that a term you'd now not use anymore?
No, I think moral hazard is a very important concept, and I do think when we have a regulatory system that's in balance and you have the wind-down powers that the administration is requesting and hopefully Congress will pass that lets a non-bank institution fail without disrupting the system, that it'll be that moral hazard will have more teeth in it.
So why was Lehman a moral hazard and not Bear Stearns, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, AIG?
Okay, I would actually thank you for the question. I believe quite strongly that if Tim Geithner, Ben Bernanke, and Hank Paulson had found something legal we could have done to save Lehman, we would have. And let me explain the difference. In Lehman Brothers, there was a liquidity problem and a capital problem, and we were unable to find any buyer to come in and make the acquisition on an assisted basis or an unassisted basis. And so, although the Fed was able to loan against Lehman collateral and did loan to help facilitate liquidation and bankruptcy, a Fed loan would not have saved Lehman Brothers. In the case of Bear Stearns, we had a buyer, J.P. Morgan, and J.P. Morgan, then the Fed was able to make a loan to assist that acquisition. Bear Stearns, there was a liquidity problem and a capital problem, and J.P. Morgan took care of the capital problem. They were able to guarantee the trading book while the merger was being voted on. AIG was a different situation because in AIG, the perception at the time was this is a liquidity problem only because they had a number of stable, regulated insurance companies that were perceived to be well capitalized and were collateral for the loan. So we faced a situation in Lehman Brothers where we did not have, the government didn't have wind-down powers, the government didn't have powers to inject capital. That came after we got the TARP, and we didn't have a buyer. And so there was no power that we could find to solve both the liquidity and the capital problem.
Did Bank of America request your assistance to purchase Lehman?
Did Bank of America?
Yes.
We went to Bank of America repeatedly, and Bank of America asked each time for more assistance, and we had the private sector ready to fill the gap, but Bank of America, in my judgment, was never serious about it because each time they showed less interest, and it turns out they were interested in Merrill Lynch. We had another buyer, Barclays, that we thought was going to do the deal right up until Sunday morning.
Well, let me just ask one more question given the short time frame. Most of these other groups that were saved, AIG, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, their management was replaced. Lewis wasn't replaced. Was his situation different, or in short, did you promise him he could keep his job if he did it this way?
Absolutely not. These decisions for the government to come in and take the responsibility away from the board and replace the board, there's got to be a very good reason. And Fannie, Freddie, AIG, there was good reasons. But I also looked at this very pragmatically and said, these are big, difficult institutions to run. Is the current CEO, is he capable of running this institution? And then you've got to say, who else is suitable to come in and run these institutions?
I appreciate it, and my time is up. I guess you could see how that appears to be splitting hairs of who you fire and who you don't fire, and it could very easily be construed to those who are making these decisions in these financial institutions that their first thought must be that they have to listen to whatever you say. They have to play ball, or because you have such discretion, you know, those who play ball keep their jobs and those that don't get fired.
Well, gentlemen, time has expired. Mr. Chaffet from Utah.
Thank you.